Can you kind of take us through the moments that you had or were involved with the Crimson Tide program where Saban goes from having that test to getting back on the field to coaching the game to getting the win with you there in T-Town to see it?
Zubin, can I just begin by acknowledging you are absolutely right. There are many things Key can say that the rest of us cannot. I think that's been proven over a long course of time. So I am firmly in agreement with you on that. It was a wild week, obviously, last week from Wednesday, being with him in the adjacent staff room to his office when the door opened and Jeff Allen popped in, ushered Coach out, and we then knew what happened. He left the facility immediately, told that he had tested positive. Over the next 3 days, 5 separate tests to 2 different labs, all while 240 other tests given to players and staff had come back negative. Saban tested negative, it turned out, on Thursday morning, negative on Friday morning, from 2 tests each day to different labs, and then he finds out at right around 12:30 that the last test he's taken early Saturday morning, which was flown to a lab in Mobile, to the SEC lab there, following all SEC protocols, had also come back negative. He gets that news. He makes a beeline right to the team hotel, which is across the street from the football building in Tuscaloosa on campus, and essentially begins to rejoin meetings immediately. You heard Mac Jones, the quarterback for the Tide, say they're sitting in their quarterback meeting in a small breakout room, and in walks Coach Saban. And he felt like it electrified the room. We heard the same comment from Dylan Moses, one of the defensive leaders for the Tide. And, listen, this isn't Willis Reed emerging from the shadows. We understand that. But to see Saban come back to the team, all the players said, and the rest of the staff said, certainly gave them a surge of confidence and a bolt of inspiration, and they played that way.
Tom Rinaldi, ESPN reporter, joined us on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin. We all obviously thought that Saban wouldn't be able to coach on Saturday night, but after 3 consecutive negative tests, he was on the sidelines. What was you're so close to Saban? Like, what was the stress level like leading up to him getting the final word on whether or not he would be able to coach?
A couple of things, Key. So specifically, I think the fact that he remained asymptomatic from the very beginning, I think Saban had, I know from a source certainly, that he had a belief that it was going to be a false positive because he never showed any symptoms as the week continued to go on, whereas athletic director Greg Byrne, the only other person to test positive, did. And obviously we've sent out good thoughts to Greg Byrne. He said just the other night that, quote, he's feeling good, which is good because he did show a mild fever and some other symptoms. So that's part one. But part two is that any time there is a lot of turbulence or a big challenge, I think you see Saban with a really impressive degree of calm. He remained involved in every single thing that the team did in its preparation. We've talked about the fact that he patched in for a video feed from a high camera angle. He was on a cell phone with staffers asking drills to be redone or so that a player could hear his voice during practice and during the run-ups. And obviously he was part of Zoom meetings throughout. So he was plugged in, and he remained hopeful that he'd be able to rejoin the team. And when he got that message back that it was negative at 12:30 Saturday, a state trooper escorted him right to the team hotel, and he was back.
Tom, Kentucky alum and former NBA player Rex Chapman tweeted out that it was a terrible message for Nick Saban to coach. Was there any reason for Saban not to coach? Was this a terrible message? I mean, how do you even put that into context?
Well, I think Reese Davis, we had Coach Saban on College Game Day with us from his house on a video call, and I thought Reese asked him a terrific question, essentially in a different way of raising that issue that Chapman does, again, with different language, essentially saying, listen, even if you do get these tests back, is there some thought that perhaps you would put the team first and out of an abundance of caution not rejoin them? And Saban brought up the fact, Jay, that, again, there were 240 tests over Thursday and then on Friday throughout the players and staff that all came back negative. And that Saban had been tested negative Monday when he was around the team and practicing, on Tuesday around the team and practicing, on Thursday through 2 tests, Friday through 2 tests, and again Saturday morning. So I think he felt through the SEC protocols that the program was following and through secondary tests the school was issuing, he felt confident. And as a result, that's why he rejoined the team.
Tom, let me ask you this. Was this game going to go on whether he was going to coach or not, or were they going to postpone it?
No, it was going to go on, Key, no question, because, and we tried to really emphasize this in our reporting through, that when we did find out through a team source that the last SEC test, the last SEC mandated test, SEC has 3 tests a week, Key, for all the players in the conference. There's Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday. When that last test of the week, Thursday morning, came back and no one else had tested positive, no one on the roster and no other staff members, it became clear that whether this was in fact a positive or not for Coach Saban, the game was going to go on. And Saban was certainly planning and operating in that mode while remaining hopeful, because he was asymptomatic, that he could return to the sideline, and he did.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.